don't know if I really love this decision.
Over the middle, got his man, and look at him go! Jalen Waddle for the touchdown!
Welcome to Inside Leverage, your gateway to the fascinating realm of the Miami Dolphins. Join us as we delve deep into the team's dynamic Super Bowl journey. We invite you to share your most scorching takes, unwind, and relish in our captivating experience.
Tagovailoa, blocked by Armstead, going, he's got him! Tyreek Hill! And the Dolphins have come back!
A big play on the first one! Home run! Play one! To the house! What a start for the Dolphins!
It's Inside Leverage. We always gonna put on a show, baby. That's what we do.
Welcome, Fins family. How we feeling, baby?
I'm surprised French is here. I'm surprised French is here. I'm surprised he's here.
Hey,
Surprised he's here. You know what I'm saying?
when inside leverage approve your PTO, you take the time off.
Oh, now you got PTO. You took
What?
PTO for like 4 weeks.
You
Shout out
gotta
to
take the
admin
time out.
You took PTO for like 4 weeks.
You
Shout out
gotta
to-
take the
hey,
You was in
You know what?
Fiji. He want to get a haircut. He got a haircut. He want to act out because he got a haircut. I see you. I see you. I see
Hey.
you, homie.
Hey,
Shout
what's
out-
that?
shout out
What's
to-
that hat, bro? I gotta see the hat.
Who's that?
Your
hat.
Oh, the crib.
Aha.
Mm.
I like
You
that.
know,
I like that.
I
Yes,
put on for the
sir.
whole city. You know what I mean?
It's funny how you bald people be wearing hats. I get it.
Hey, man.
I
It
get
makes
it.
it.
I get it.
It accentuates the beard. I don't got a haircut. I'm getting a haircut Thursday, but once I get a haircut with the hat, it's on, man. It's on. It accentuates.
Baby
Makes it
face
better.
assassin.
I'm telling you.
Hey, big dog. I ain't missing no hair in my face. You feel me? I don't look like.
Yeah, but hey, that's fine. But your hairline's getting a little, it's creeping back a little.
Hey.
Oh, you talking about a hairline? You have one of those?
Hey,
I don't
Faded.
have one. I choose to
It's
shape my
Do
hair.
you have a hairline?
It's faded.
Y'all don't have a hairline. Please don't talk about hairline. Y'all, it's a little sensitive subject for y'all.
It's
I still
faded.
get haircuts to tapes. Y'all know what that is. You know what I mean?
Hey,
Yeah,
shout
it's been a
out,
minute.
shout out to Deborah and the admin department of Inside Leverage for getting that PTO submitted and approved. Getting my
Love you, Deborah.
itinerary set up.
Love you.
Wow, love you, Deb. Hey, man, how we feeling? How we feeling about the week?
Chilling,
Good,
man.
man.
Early in the week. It's early in the week, so
Yeah, for
still
sure.
kind
Yeah.
of trying to get our bearings. Still, recovering from the weekend, but it is
I'm
what it
just
is.
glad. I'm just glad we got through the weekend as Dolphin fans. Twitter was a very, very vicious place.
When
A lot of-
isn't it? It's like at this point it's like you're used to it. It's like, oh yeah, another episode. Okay. Cool.
There was some stuff going on today. There was another thing going on last week. Shorty was showing cleavage, dude.
It was Yamsgate. We're gonna call it Yamsgate.
Nah, but you call it Booby Gate.
Booby Gate.
Booby Gate.
There has
Booby
to be
Gate.
a better title for that one. Booby
Nah,
Gate?
it's Booby Gate. It was literally boobs. It's just boobs.
Wait,
And
wait,
then we had-
I need the details. Like, was this was it one person or was it a bunch of people?
Yo,
What was going on?
it was what happens is these dolphin there's some of these dolphin people are degenerates, and they can't. So a young lady posted a picture of herself, some under boob, and it became a thing.
Hey, listen, it's the off season, baby. I mean, what
I
do you
don't.
expect?
I didn't listen. Honestly, I thought she was a maverick. She started a movement. She had more ladies follow suit. But the
Okay.
way the man reacted, it was like, oh my god. But they didn't. It's funny. The cool thing about these ladies, they don't expose their DMs and see how these sickos be talking to them.
Right.
Because a lot of these guys be putting, you go to their bio, it says man of Christ, family man, and then
Hey, listen.
Gotcha.
Listen. They just needed a little excitement in their lives, I guess. Like
I guess so.
hey, more power to them.
Well, the one thing I'll say about that is, like I keep saying, we moved the algorithm, we moved the needle on Twitter, which is why people love the interaction from us.
Shout out to the women Dolphin community. They more hardcore than some of the guys. They got more guts than some of the guys. Shout out to
Facts.
the ladies in the Dolphins
Facts.
community.
Facts.
Because y'all be holding it down on the timeline. I be seeing y'all stepping on necks when some of these guys be on the timeline crying like little boys. Because I ain't going to say little girls because I got a little girl and she
French.
tougher than some of these boys.
French.
Fact.
I hate to break up your soliloquy, but we got our guests is here.
Yo,
What's
What's up, boys?
yo, what's good? What's good with you?
What it do?
What is
I'm
up?
glad
What
you
up? What
showed
up? Fins
I
up.
was-
Fins up, baby.
Wait, so hey, does that feel weird to you right now or what?
Nah, I've always been I was a Dolphins fan before Jordan got in the NFL. Me and my mom. So back
Oh,
when
that's
Ricky
right.
Williams and Ronnie Brown were running the Wildcat.
Let's go.
Oh, okay.
It was destiny. It was
Hey,
destiny.
sir.
Got White out here.
I
getting smacked
know
up.
you see that. I know you see that jersey back there, number 34,
Absolutely.
hanging on my wall. Okay,
Absolutely.
Hey man, that's what's up. So now you can bring out some gear and have no issues. Now Jordan can
No
say that.
issue.
You good now.
Good now.
Hold on. I was gonna say now you might get access to that exclusive gear that you be seeing on the sidelines. You might have to tap in and be like,
I'm
yo,
trying- I'm trying
Hey,
to get
you're
some.
coming
I'm
on.
trying to get over to the locker room and see what's good. I'm trying to get in. Hell yeah.
Oh man, well listen, hey, I'm glad that you're here joining us. I'm glad that you're part of Dolphins Twitter now, Dolphins Nation. Everybody's happy to have you. Great big family. But enough of that. Why don't you give us a little us and everybody else that's watching right now, give us a little background about who Jeremiah is.
I'm Jordan Poyer's brother. We grew up in Oregon. Grew up together. We're technically half brothers, but full brothers raised together. And he where he's went when he's been in the league. I went to college, played my time in college football, and did my thing. But where he's went, I've followed as a fan and followed as a brother. And so I plan to make my way down to Florida and be down here for his last couple seasons and see what's good.
That's good, man.
I mean, you from Buffalo to Miami. We good now.
Yeah, it's warm out here. It's warm out here. I can go outside.
Warmer, yeah, that's right. So what school did you go to?
I went to a small NAIA school in Dickinson. My grades weren't that good in junior college, so I didn't have a lot of leverage. I had a pro day for a Canadian football team when I was coming out of college, and that's when COVID hit and everything kind of shut down for a while. So had to take my talents to the working class.
Does that look familiar to you right there?
Yeah.
Hey,
Dog.
my boy played sports though. He was out there playing volleyball, basketball, baseball.
Yeah.
My mom played volleyball, basketball in college. My dad played football in college, and so we kind of just grasped onto whatever they brought to us, and we played. There was like a volleyball sand tournament where we were from every summer, and we used to play in that every year. Get ready for that. 3 months out of the year, we played summer baseball. I mean, there wasn't really a time where we could do much else because our parents wouldn't let us. We had to get a job if we weren't going to play sports. So we were playing sports.
I mean, it sounds about right. We had the same things, man.
Yeah.
How were those battles, man? How were those battles between you and Jordan if you had some of those?
Oh, for a while, there's not one person I hate losing to more than Jordan, and there's not one person he hates losing to more than me. But as of late, we've came to the conclusion that we're better as a team than we ever were playing against each other. So we've gotten on the same page there. But no, the battles were crazy growing up. As far as I was always 4 years behind him, so he was always a step ahead of me. But it was always fun. Well, I was his biggest fan growing up, and it's when you're playing your idols, you never really win, right?
Yeah, you never really do. Exactly, man. So how is it now coming full circle? Because you mentioned you and your mom were Dolphin fans. What was that feeling when Jordan, or when you guys found out, hey, I'm going to be a Dolphin, and what was the vision going forward after that?
So my mom was really excited. I was pissed when he got cut because I feel like he's put so much into that organization in Buffalo. And so like with the way he was cut, the way they did his deals for the conversations between him, like being in the background, you can't really say much. And I don't really like the way it was handled. But at that point we were in Costa Rica. Me and Jordan were on an ayahuasca trip to Costa Rica during that time. And we kind of went through this situation where it is what it is. We move on. And about the second day we went to the retreat, Jordan got a call from his agent saying that the Dolphins were interested. They would offer him. And when he signed, we were elated because he's been like Miami. He moved here. He loves the area. It's also another safety that he'd love to grow with. It's not like he's going into a situation where there's not a full DB room. So he likes the way Javon plays. I like the way Javon plays as a fan. And so we were really excited when he signed to the Dolphins. And it was like a roller coaster of emotions, like pissed off, a little grouchy to really happy all in 1 week. So it was a good situation for sure.
Well, let me ask this question. Just to kind of backtrack it a little bit. Appreciate your time. Let just talk about it more from the fan aspect, because of course that's your brother, but you grew up a Dolphin, and moms grew up a Dolphin, but your brothers in a divisional rivalry. How was that kind of relationship with you specifically, but also not to get into family business, but how was that camaraderie? The reason I would give you that reference is my whole family, we grew up Dolphin fans, and a lot of my family played in NFL as well. But specifically, one of my cousins, Derek Graham, was the left tackle over at KC. Mm-hmm. He was the only one that we could really root for outside of my Dolphins, outside of, O.J. McDuffie and a couple of other Fox. So, just having family, but then you still got that tie to your team. How did that work for you as far as, seeing your brother go up against your team that you roll with?
It's interesting because when he got to the league, I like my fandom of and I don't want to say that it just went out the window, but it kind of did. When he got to the league, it was more of like, I'm going to ride with whatever team Jordan's on. And so I was an Eagles fan, went to a Browns fan, and the Eagles was all right because Mike Vick was there at the time. So I enjoyed that. But being a Browns fan and then going to Buffalo, like, it didn't conflict because I was always going to be a fan of Jordan. And being a Dolphins fan when I'm young, it's more just you don't really grasp it as much as a child as you do when you get older and you're a fan of a football team. So, it was conflicting. It was like, okay, he's on Buffalo. I hadn't heard much about Buffalo. It was like 17 years before he got there without a playoff appearance. And so it wasn't like conflicting in that way. I was always going to ride with Jordan wherever he was at. And it's just full circle wise. I'm excited to be able to be a fan of the team that I started out being a fan of, even though back when I was watching them, they weren't winning much. The Dolphins, they had their little stint of a playoff run then, though. And we and Jordan were joking about it, that there was a 17-year playoff drought when Jordan got to Buffalo, and there's a 22-year, if I'm not mistaken, playoff win drought here. And we would like to be the drought enders and it'd be known for that when we get there. So it'd be exciting. And we're excited. Jordan's excited for the opportunity. I'm excited to watch him as a fan.
Yeah, man. We wanted there were talks about him last year coming here too, man. So we kind of liked the idea of him coming in, even last year. Jeremiah, Fizz Mechanic here, man. Again, thank you for taking the time to hang out with us. Just reading a little bit about you. Wanted to go back to kind of you as a football player. What position did you play? Were you on the defensive side, or I went to a D3 school, Mount Union College, up in Alliance, Ohio. So small school. You're doing your thing. You love the game despite whatever division you're at. So what position you played over there? Where you played at?
Well, I started out of high school. I was a quarterback, and so I know I don't look like it, but I was in high school. I was about 205. I was a big dog. I could throw the ball over the yard, and I was gonna go play. I had a walk-on opportunity to go to Oregon and walk on as a tight end, and they liked their quarterbacks were converting. They had Colt Lyerla there for a little bit during that time, and so I went to junior college as a tight end, and when I went there, I was killing it. And I don't mean to like speak up on it, but I was killing it as a tight end. And we got out to the season, and they wanted to run empty all year. So I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not a tight end that's going to run empty. I'm a blocking halfback, fullback. I can get out to the flats. So when that happened, I got converted by Martin Tavaseo. He used to play for TCU. He went to the Jet. He played for the Jets for a little bit. He was a D lineman. He coached me in Santa Rosa Junior College, and he converted me to a D lineman. So I played all from there to Dickinson. I played every D line position. I was like, I was always a mind over ability type of guy. I still had skills. I had power. I'm a big guy, but you could put me on the D line, and I can set our defense from there. And so I was more of like an IQ guy, and so I got to play all over the D line when I was at Dickinson, from DN to D tackle to 3 tech to 1 tech to 5 tech. I walked down as a linebacker sometimes if they needed somebody to walk down. So I I'm a big dude, but I my feet and my IQ was able to play me wherever on the D line, really.
And playing other sports really probably helped that as well. You know, playing volleyball and baseball, that
Basketball
helped
for
too,
real.
right?
That
And
was my
basketball
favorite
too
sport
as well.
growing up was
Yeah.
basketball. Yeah. So like my feet as in basketball, being able to be in the post. I ran our point forward in high school. It was a small school, but just being able to have those skills, it really helped my feet. And the feet is when you're a D lineman, if you can use your feet to the best of your ability, it's a good skill to have for sure.
Go ahead, Chad.
Mr. Poyer, thank you for giving us your time. Appreciate you coming on the pod.
Nice to meet
Your
you.
brother is someone who's persevered, been through some things, and made his way in the NFL to become amongst the best at his position group. In that position group, we have a guy named Javon Holland, and there's a couple other young bucks that I think that could benefit from his presence. Could you speak to your brother's leadership qualities, and what do you think he can do as far as helping to groom some of these guys and to help them grow as far as players, man, and communicators on the back end and the secondary?
Yeah, so that's the one thing with Jordan is nobody's going to be lost on that back end. There's not a moment of non-communication. He's one of the best when it comes to kind of setting the tone from a verbal and a physical standpoint. I think in the NFL, the one thing that I get in arguments with Bills fans a lot is I don't think they understand what they're missing when Micah is gone and Jordan's gone. And I'm not just them from a standpoint of everybody Gabe being gone. They you don't see that. They're playing Madden with the teams that they get into. So it's like, oh well, we want faster, we want better skills players, you losing a lot on that back end from leadership standpoint, and so when he comes here, I see a DB group with a lot of talent. Jalen, veteran, Super Bowl champion, I believe, with the Rams. Javon, a young guy that has been with another young guy. I think Brendan Jones, right? He used to be the strong safety last year. Is it Brandon Jones? Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
but he unfortunately he's not here with
right. So that young group got to grow up kind of leading their own way. It's tough without a veteran presence in that locker room, in my opinion, to kind of grasp around being able to communicate, being on point. There's a lot of little mistakes that are made that really, if you look back at the AFC East last year, cost you a season. Little mistakes here and there, it cost you an AFC East championship. And I'll say one thing about Jordan is that those little mistakes don't really fly when he's on that defensive backfield as far as communication and miscues. So I know I'm talking to my brother here and I'm biased, but that's one thing that I've noticed from an IQ standpoint, that he's not going to allow miscues like that to happen. He's going to be over vocal. He's going to over communicate. That's just how the way he plays.
All right, man. Yeah, no experience. I'm as you can tell, I'm the old guy in the group. Everybody calls me the old guy, but experience obviously has a value, and I think that one of the things that once Jordan signed on, that was the first thing that turned a bulb on for me and said, this guy, the experience that he's going to bring to the table, regardless if you think that he lost a step or not, that element of that is going to be well received in the defensive backfield, in my opinion. But pivoting away from that for a minute, I noticed that you're a big gamer, man.
Absolutely.
What do you get into?
I am a big Call of Duty guy. I mean, I play Madden.
I knew it.
But as far as Call of Duty goes, I went to this event here, the CDL Championship or Major in Miami, just this last weekend. I'm playing in one in Toronto in a couple of months. So I play from that perspective. I play competitively. I don't play a lot of Warzone or a lot of things that the public play. From that standpoint, I'm more of like a competitive guy. I missed competing in something when football was taken away from me, and so I had to fill it with something, and it ended up being Call of Duty.
Are you a PlayStation guy or Xbox?
Yeah, he just took my answer.
I play on PC.
Yeah, I mean, if you're into that, you're gonna go top of the line. I agree. Go ahead, Wally.
Hey man, listen, these guys are asking these corny questions, man. Talk to me about that trip, the ayahuasca trip. Talk to me about that. How was it? Talk to me, man. Yo, man, let's talk about it.
I'll say first and foremost, it's really hard to describe the detail, because when you agree to go, I agreed when Jordan got back from Costa Rica last year to go and experience it, and I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. Jordan said, "Yo, just trust me," and I said, "Sure." So when I went, I didn't know what I was really doing or how to go about it. He said I was prepared enough, and when I got there the first night, it was an unbelievable experience. And the way people, the connotation with plant medicine and psychedelics really in general is very negative, because people can use these things to just party and have a good time and turn up and whatnot. If you use it correctly, like any medicine that any doctor will ever give you, if you use it correctly, it's used properly and it's for the right purpose, and you can use it to gain so much knowledge and so much. And I can't, if you've never been through it, I can't really describe how, because it was my mind. Like, I'm fighting these bad habits in my mind all night. And when you get through with it, you just have to kind of surrender to the fact that you need to restructure your mind. You need your DNA kind of gets twisted a little bit to where these bad habits you've been up for 29 years. The older my mom went. And so like the older you get, the more these habits grasp a hold of you, and these beliefs that you've been told your entire life grasp a hold of you. And you say, okay, yes, sir. You don't ask questions, and you kind of go about your day. And these kind of take you back a little bit. Like, hold on now, that shit might not have been what you thought it was. Like, hold on now. And so it was an unbelievable experience. I hope to go back next year because I worked a lot of myself on this one, and there's levels to it. So the next step is kind of understanding the universe from that point of view. And I didn't really get to dive into that because I was fixing a lot about myself. So I would really like to go back and dive into the universe and learn. And that's a great tool to do it. I plan to do a stream here and answer like anybody's questions about it that I can't answer. And if I can't answer it, we're about to look it up together. So that's in my future.
Yo,
that sounds dope.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
I dabbled not all the way, but it's a reset, man. It's like you get to see inside, man. So when I seen that, I'm like, oh man, homie was living. That's what's up, man. I hope you have a good experience next time, man. That's
exactly what we called it too in the shamans. There, it's just a mental reset. It could be a physical reset of your body. It's just a medicine. Like if you use it properly, it's just a medicine for your mind and for your body. So, I think some people look at mushrooms and they take them and go out and party. And if you sit in the backyard and take mushrooms with a group of people that you trust, and it's sunny out, and you kind of just get to understand what it is around you, live in the moment, instead of being on your phone and being worrying about anything else that really doesn't matter in life. There's so much worry. Like I get on Twitter here and I argue with these people, and I'm like, bro, like you're upset, you're angry about nothing. Like like let's just banter on Twitter. It's all it's for.
You're gonna fit right in with Dolphins community. You're gonna fit right in. You're gonna be great.
Be ready.
You're gonna be just fine. You're gonna be just fine in Dolphins Twitter. I love it. Exactly.
What did homie call him on the thread? He called him the new commander. He called him something.
Oh, the new Dolphins lieutenant.
Yeah, you already lieutenant. You already got clout. You good.
Yeah, you good.
What do you got, French?
I'm excited. I'm excited to be a part of this. I'm excited to go to the games, interact. I've met a lot of people that are super nice. They like Jordan prior to him coming here, but he was a Bill, so like you can't really give it.
No,
you know
they
what I mean?
lying
So
to
like,
you. They lying to you. We all hated Jordan. Everybody hated Jordan. That's cap. Whoever told you they like Jordan, they lied to you. We all hated you. Hey,
okay, but you like
a lot of us were on the board with him coming though last season. A lot of us were on board with him coming last season.
Like, if you don't hate a player that's not in your team, and the opposite team, he didn't do good enough. We all hated Jordan.
Liar.
I didn't like Jordan Poyer. I promise you, I didn't like him one bit, man. He
Right.
made a play.
He wore that blue and red, bro. How are we supposed to like him? You know, let's be real, you know.
Homie will show up and make something happen. No, I'm going on my side.
Always make plays, man.
That's
Always
facts.
make it plays.
Facts.
Hey,
he got one off Tua. I enjoyed that one. That was a good one off Tua.
Yo, they're up 30 points and they're on the sideline, patty caking him and Micah Hyde. He's waving at the crowd and talking.
That was the game. The one here is 0 points, right? That was the game that Jordan turned around. He has a clip that went around. He turned around to the fans and said, "Y'all scored 0 points." In the middle of the fence.
See, exactly. He's a pest. Bro, exactly what it is. If you hate him when he's not in your team, and you love him when he's in your team. And when you ain't talking about you, I'm sorry, friends, to poop you on your question, but the ayahuasca thing, that in the locker room with these young fellas, bro, that's you can't even quantify that, bro. That's amazing, man.
Yeah, Jordan's excited for that opportunity for sure. My bad, friend.
But just caveating off and piggybacking off what you're talking about with that, because you know back in my spiritual journey or along my spiritual journey, I've dibbled and dabbled, and one of the things I've taken away from some of that experience as well is just kind of the perspective it gives you on just kind of more about like self-development. Can you talk about that as far as like how does that, like as far as that journey as even as far as like a player, you know, going through those journey, because all that gets you prepared for the journey that you're going to go through in that next season. So can you talk about just a little bit of that and just how just kind of that off season ties into kind of how these players and even you when you played, you know, how it all ties in?
I'll say that the biggest benefit that I saw from the people that do play in the NFL that were there is that they put their priorities in order, from their kids and their family to everything else. And I think the biggest problem with NFL, in my personal opinion, and NFL Super is because they play a 12-month season in their mind. That's the biggest problem to me, is that yes, you need to work out, yes, you need to be on top of it, but you need time away from whatever it is that you're doing, and you need to be present with whatever it is that you got going on as far in your life at the time. And then you can deal with all those in the off season. When it gets to the season, you don't have these problems lingering into the season, these personal problems as much. Everybody got personal stuff, but it doesn't affect you as much with through ayahuasca or whatever. If you want to go to therapy and do that instead, it doesn't affect you as much during the season. And you get less of it because you dealt with everything you needed to in the timing that you needed to, and you weren't thinking about football. No, I don't want to say you're not thinking about it, but you're not thinking about the problems of the football season in the off season, because that's in the future. You don't even know if that's going to happen. Like we look at the future and we are nervous and scared and fearful of what might happen, and all these things haven't happened yet. We're fearful of things that haven't happened yet, and so I think that's the biggest takeaway for me, is that these guys got to come back to now and be in the here and now. And then they got to go home with their families, and they call it integration. And they're there for that, for the happiness that they got from their kids and their family. you can't really quantify it as far as what it could do for a player. Vaughn Miller was out there with us, and I'm a little nervous about the season he's about to have.
Shouldn't have done that, man.
A quick question of a little bit about football. You said you were a defensive line and you played in almost the entire all positions. Kind of getting back to the Dolphins and what they have acquired so far. In your opinion, how do you feel about who we acquired so far, and what do you look for in the draft? Maybe that a guy that you might like that you think can fit with the defensive scheme we might be playing this season.
As far as the draft, to be honest, I couldn't really tell you because I don't know the needs as much of the Dolphins, so I can't really pinpoint a person. But I can say Shaq Barrett is a guy that, if I'm not saying it, Shaq Barrett, correct? That's how you say his name?
Yeah.
So like, he's a guy that, from listening to his interviews, he's been doubted, and those are guys that can be extremely dangerous. And bringing him into this defense along with Jordan, with the guys they already have there, it could be. And I know people are saying the defense lost a lot, but I think gaining guys that have something to prove with and allowing your offense kind of just to you pay the offense, right, and then you bring in guys on defense that have something to prove. And it can be really dangerous. There's certain defenses, in my opinion, that if the culture is not there yet, it will be now. At least in that locker room for the Dolphins, in my opinion. So I don't know enough about the Dolphins' current guys that they kept, other than the big names like Javon and Jalen on defense. I know that Cam Smith is a corner. There's a lot of fans that are excited about him. Is it Cam Smith? There's a lot of fans that have been excited about him. I don't know much about Kohu either, other than that 3rd and 14 play that he had against Josh last year. So
I think he's more suited for a man coverage type of scheme, and I think it's gonna help him this time around because Banjo was more zone and he struggled a little bit. I'm sure maybe a second year he probably would have been a little bit better. But he just struggled as a zone.
Low key, I think he's gonna have the best relationship with Jordan because Jordan got it from the mud.
Yeah.
And Cater was undrafted, so he might just pick his brain apart. He might be the most annoying teammate. Yeah. That's why it's gonna work.
Saran too. Saran's an Saran might be, and through the conversations I've had with Jordan and watching, Saran might be the most athletic player I've ever seen not get a start. And I mean that he's big, he's tall, he's fast, he jumps high, he's quick. He didn't have the full confidence getting in. And Saran talked about it when he got here. He said when Jordan seen that, he said, "Yo, Saran, what are you worried about, bro? Like, you might be the most athletic guy I think I've ever seen, and you're out here like." And so the confidence that Saran has gotten on special teams, that could carry over into some type of big nickel at some point, and he's got the athletic ability to do it, in my opinion. So there's a lot of I don't want to say. There's a lot of guys that haven't been highly touted throughout this free agency that have come in here, and it's going to change a lot, in my opinion, the culture of the defense. The offense, you let do their own thing. They've been running their well-oiled machine. There's a little bit about that game. You literally just have to win that one game against Buffalo, and there's a guy that came in here that knows exactly what they're trying to do against Tua. So that in my opinion is going to be a big thing too. It's like you playing for that one game against Buffalo that wins you the East, right? And you get the higher seed, a 2 seed, 1 seed, whatever it may be, and then you play the Chiefs, and that all the roads lead to the Chiefs.
That's what it seems that way anyway.
Earlier on, you spoke to the you guys wanting to be the drought enders. What do you think it was the biggest key to Buffalo overcoming that playoff drought, and how do you think that translates to our current situation now?
In my opinion, there's a certain we've talked a lot about this. There's a certain mindset that you get into, that you get trapped into. And it's that we can't beat Josh Allen. We can't beat the Chiefs if you're Josh Allen. We can't beat the Chiefs in the playoffs. We can't Josh versus Patrick Mahomes. Like, it's these mindsets of like, you put yourself in it. That's not the truth. You can beat these teams. but you put yourselves in this, the fans, like they feed off of it. Like, bro, Josh is our dad. If it, like these ideals that aren't really accurate, aren't true. And to me, that's culture. And I think culture is the biggest thing that changed from 2016 to 2017 for the Bills. And I won't say the offensive culture here because the offense was humming in Miami, but the defensive culture here is something that, in my opinion, could use a little toughness. And that, in my opinion, like it's all about knowing what the organization needs. And back then, they had no winning culture, none whatsoever. So you brought in a bunch of guys that have been. Micah Hyde didn't get a start in Green Bay. Jordan didn't get a start. Well, he got the start towards the end and then got hurt in Cleveland. They didn't want to give him a contract in Cleveland. So it's a bunch of guys that weren't highly touted, didn't really have a lot of attention. And so you bring them in, and that underdog mentality can get you through until you get a quarterback like Josh Allen. Now you have Josh. So it's one little thing as far as bringing in guys that have a certain mindset, and then you build on that mindset throughout. So in my opinion, the toughness that's needed here is coming. And when that does come, you just build on it one day at a time, 1 week at a time. You get a win here defensively. The offense is going to do their thing. You kind of separate that, in my opinion. As a defense, if the offense is bad, good, or indifferent, you play your own game. And you bring that toughness of, we're going to win this game on ourselves. And I think there's a lot of that for the Dolphins last year, there was a lot of that. Well, the offense is going to bail us out. The offense is going to win us games. Like, that's not the mentality that you want, need, or should have, in my opinion.
All right. Listen, before
Those
I
are
ask my
bars.
question,
Let's go.
that's what I'm saying. Before, I want to thank everybody who's tuned in right now. Make sure you subscribe and like and follow all our accounts. You can see all the socials on the bottom there. We got lots and lots of content coming out. How much more time you got, Jer?
I'm here to tell you guys. I mean, I'm
all
here.
right. No, I just want to make sure, man. I didn't want to keep you from doing anything else. I got a question, and it's kind of from the obviously coming from the Bills, from that point of view. What is your assessment of the quarterback situation here in Miami? And I understand the relationships. I get it, but I still want to hear what you think.
No, I mean, my true personal opinion is that I never disliked Tua. I think there's a certain types of quarterbacks out there. You have the do-it-alls in Josh. You have the Commanders and Patrick Mahomes, and you have game. And people aren't going to like this statement, but there's elite game managers out there. There's Brock Purdy, who is a game manager. Tua is a certain type of guy that you can put in a certain offense, and he can be elite in that offense. And I believe Mike McDaniels has gotten the best out of him. And I still think there's another level to it if you add the run game that consistently that they can have. I mean, Achane and Raheem went crazy. Like, they could go crazy consistently. But I like Tua. I think he's extremely accurate. I think he's got a little bit of on the IQ side to grow a little bit more as a quarterback. There's certain defenses that have pushed him to the sidelines and stacked kind of the line to line. And by pushing him to the sidelines, he's got to make long throws, and he doesn't want to do that. So I think there's a certain way that Tua can grow, in my opinion, but I do think he has what it takes to win a Super Bowl. And if you're looking at it, the aspect of quarterbacks, if you have a guy you believe can win a Super Bowl, that's all you really need. And there's about 10, in my opinion, out there in the league right now.
Well, if you don't mind, as a follow-up question, who do you have, like, off the top of your head, who the 10 are?
Josh, Pat, Lamar. And Lamar is on the edge because he hasn't shown up for me in the playoffs at all. Matt Stafford. And people aren't going to like this, but there's a certain top 5 that I miss. Joe Burrow, the Jared Goff, Brock Purdy. I think Jalen could win one. And then people aren't going to like this one, but I do think Baker Mayfield can win one. I think he has the mentality to win one if he has the right team around him. But that's off the top of my head. That's who I can remember. That's Oh, and CJ Stroud. He's nice.
Why? Wait,
Well,
French. Hold on, French. Give me 1 second. I have to do the follow up here. I'm sorry, I'm doing a French right here.
the
Why do you think
follow-up, this a double dip?
this? I'm sorry, this is a triple follow up. No,
A
because I
triple
have
decker.
to listen.
It's a triple decker.
I
Triple
get.
dip with the
Crazy
same
coming
tip
from
is
French.
disgusting.
Yo,
I gotta
French,
do
you
it because
You gotta
Now,
Somebody
relax.
get another bowl.
listen. The reason I'm doing it because I'm old and I'll forget the next time around. So I got to make sure I ask it now. Why do you think Josh and the Bills haven't been able to do it yet?
Mental, in my opinion. That idea that we can't get past a certain guy, and so like that is the that little pill that. And in Buffalo, like you can't. There is nothing else. You can't go out to dinner and get away from whatever because people are going to come up to you in autographs, and now you get reminded of the Bills game again. And so when you try to go home and get away from it, you hop on Twitter, and that's all you see on Twitter, or you hop on Instagram, that's all you see on Instagram. So there's no getting away from the game that you just played in Buffalo. Now, all it takes is one little seed of doubt to get dropped into an organization that you can't beat Patrick Mahomes. And when that seed of doubt, then the same seed that Dolphins have had kind of recently with Josh and Buffalo and winning the AFC East, that same seed can grow. And when it gets to a point of like, yeah, we just can't beat this guy, that to me is like where you need to change things. And that is why we haven't won. In my opinion, is that one little seed of saying, "Oh, we can't beat Patrick Mahomes." Oh, our chance to beat Patrick Mahomes ended in the 13 seconds. So now we got Patrick Mahomes at home. We should beat him, right? Well, it's a lot of that seeds of doubt that people drop in, and it just grows. And so the idea that we need to drop this seed of this is a new day. The AFC East is ours, and that's the mentality that I hope that these new guys bring into the Dolphins defense.
See, there we go. And since I'm being skipped at the water fountain, I'm gonna start with a two-part question because you started with the mentality, and this is exactly where I want to stay right now. You said it takes that mentality. And even along the line of just success, whether it's the Dolphins or the Bills, because the Dolphins are looking for that first playoff win in 20 years. The Bills are looking for that Super Bowl. There are different levels of success. So I say that to say, even with the Dolphins winning that first playoff game in 20 years this year, there's still going to be another level above that you're going to have to hurdle next year. So, until you win it all, because you look at the Buffalo situation, what I say it all the time, what if Tua was the quarterback like Josh Allen, where you were getting to the playoffs and not winning? That's a whole nother conversation that you didn't have that you're having about your quarterback, and is he the guy to get us there? And you know what I mean? So I like how you said it starts with the mentality of the players in that locker room, and even on Twitter, the mentality of the fan, because those players read that. They see that.
And as far as like that's why I say in Florida, you can kind of get away from it. You go out to dinner, put your phone down, and people may not rush you. You can go walk the beach. You can if you snowed in Buffalo, you want to go to dinner. All right, we go to dinner. There's gonna be 1,000 people there waiting to get your autograph and get a picture, remind you of the game. You no, you got to go home. All right. Now, the only thing that they had was go hop on a video game and play Warzone together. And the Buffalo players were in their homes playing Warzone together during the entire COVID year. That's what I'm saying. Like you can't really get away with it. You can't really get away from it sometimes in that area. And here, if you're able to get away from it, reset on a daily basis, like it should help you, in my opinion. And so it does start with the mentality. It starts with taking 1 week at a time, understanding that every game is a different entity. Every season is a different entity. And people say that, and that people call it coach speak. People say that, but then bring the baggage from last season to this next season. And then you have that in the back of your head. And like that baggage, you got to leave. It was last season. This is a new team. It's a new, right. You know what I mean?
And just one little quick little point. One of the things I always echo on Twitter, people talk about a team and an organization being better. We got to be better as fans because, like you said, the players are reading that, and that affirmation is what affirms what you believe at times and where you're at in your own journey. And you can have them, them voices talking to you. You never, it's life is mental, work is mental, everything's a mental game. So as fans, you gotta, if you want the team to do something they haven't done in a while, you gotta do something you gotta have mental toughness. So I say that even as far as with the fan base. And the last thing I want to say, Poyer has got interceptions above everybody. This is a triple dip. This is the same pretzel. I'm taking the ball with me.
Yeah, how many questions you gonna ask, bro?
But
How many questions?
Poyer,
Is it a question or is it a
no,
statement?
it's a statement.
He's getting hot.
It's a drive-by.
Hey man, just go ahead and ask him about Poyer's life story while you're up here, man. Like, let's get it all out of the way,
So Poyer got an interception against a lot of quarterbacks. How rich would an interception be against Josh Allen?
Oh, it's coming.
Because we're talking mental. Now he knows that. Now he knows that guy's back there who knows you.
Jordan got four in training camp last year.
Exactly.
Josh keep trying to hit that cover 2 hole shot.
Yeah, man, he been picking them up in practice. Now he gonna be home with a better. I ain't gonna lie to you, with a better safety next to him. I'm talking about, so it's gonna be easy.
But isn't that a mental part of the game too? Because let's talk about a 2-minute.
French, how many questions do you have?
No, we're having a conversation. We're all in this together. Everybody's different in that. Everybody's different. You don't want
French,
I think he just broke the record. He broke.
Are you gonna ask him what kind of cereal he had this morning next? Like, what's the next question? I just want to know how far he's gonna go.
The only right answer is Fruity Pebbles.
French, is this a conversation or a dissertation? I'm confused.
I don't know.
No Diddy.
Listen, I'm trying to get your mentality right.
Yo, we don't need
I plead the fifth.
Yo, like my man. Mechanic, do we have a fan question?
Yes, we have a fan question. I have a fan question for you. Mr. Campbell, aka OG, asked. They said the Bills said they won a lot of games without Poyer and Micah because they was hurt. What do you think about that?
I'm glad you asked. Jordan missed 6 games in 7 years. He missed 3 not last year, but the year before. In those 3 games, they won 0. The Bills won 0 games while Jordan was on the sidelines last year or 2 years ago. Last year, he missed 1 game and they did win that game. And so the idea that Jordan misses a lot of games, he doesn't at all. He missed 6 games in 7 years, which is for somebody that at that age, that's a fairly good feat to have. So Jordan's available. Jordan's been available. Micah has had neck issues last year, and they did win. I mean, they did win a few games without him, but for the most part, Jordan's been durable.
Go ahead, Chad.
I just want to ask you just a simple question. Like, what are you personally most excited about going into next season, just overall? Like, what excites you the most about the team and the situation and going into next season?
About just the season, like, because living in Florida is crazy.
Yeah, or in Florida, whatever. Yeah, just in general. What do you? Yeah, just let's cast the wag net on this one. Whatever. What are you most excited about, Florida wise, team wise, anything? Like, what are you looking forward to the most?
You been in the city, or you been living out here, or you just moved back?
I've been. So we just got back from Costa Rica, and so I've been staying out here with Jordan for a few weeks because he's been living here. So he's had a house out here for about 6-7 years. My dad's down, and once he leaves, I'll go back to Buffalo to pack my apartment, and then I'm going to move somewhere in between Lauderdale and the stadium. So somewhere in between that area.
Oh, okay.
We gonna get you tapped in on Los Angeles, my boy.
We gonna help you out. Check this out. First of all, don't use your blinkers. You don't need none of that. You don't need your blinkers. You don't need. Listen. If you need.
Yes, you do. What are we talking about?
You don't need no blinkers.
Nobody uses blinkers in Florida. Nobody.
Hear me out. Publix is your only choice. Don't be out here trying to step out, do anything. You know what I mean? Coffee. The only coffee we have is Cuban coffee. You feel me? Like Anything else is a lie.
Eso.
You can make your own renditions of coffee. I make Cuban, Dominican, Haitian coffee, but it still starts on Cuban coffee.
Yeah.
And I mean, listen, and if it looks good, it's too good. Hey, stay out the beach.
Stay out the beach.
You're gonna be all right. You're gonna be good.
Stay out the beach.
Stay out the beach, man. If you want good food, go to the hood, man. Little Haiti
You
have
know what? You know, how about this?
Oh
Tap
my
in
God!
with me when you get to Fort Lauderdale. I'll meet you on Las Olas.
He is the mayor. He knows
Allegedly.
He knows some people that own some people. All right.
Well,
Take him to the yacht club, French. Take him to the yacht club.
He put up in the yacht. He pulled up in
let's just say we got a few people that owes Mechanic a few favors. So we'll stop by and have a great evening.
You better have a $60. You better have a $60 burger on French, man. It's crazy. That's what he be.
Hey,
That's his lifestyle.
hey, Jeremiah, let me ask you: Are the wings in Buffalo really that good?
Bro, for real.
I'm the wrong one to ask because no. They taste the same to me.
Hey, yo.
Come on, man. Thank you.
But the fascination with blue cheese out there is crazy to me. Like, I'm a Rams guy through and through. The wings there taste the same as the wings, but I'm also the wrong person to ask. Like, there's certain friends of mine. Smokes has been up there. He said he liked the wings better up there, but I don't taste the difference in my opinion.
There's no difference. So they cap.
That's cap. I mean, we got spots. We got spots over here. We go. I mean, we could talk.
How about their tailgating? Have you experienced the tailgating there a couple times? Like, how is it over there? And like from your experience.
So I've been to a few different, like, away at Houston. That the tailgating there is a college like environment. Like it's just a party. Like, it's fun, exciting, and then the cold doesn't matter. We dive through fire tables, whatever. Like, it's a college environment. So if that's the environment you're looking for, it's definitely one of the best, most hype environments in football, because it doesn't matter. They can be bad. They could be like, the team could be terrible. They're gonna show up and drink and get drunk and have fun and all this stuff. So I will say this: the people there, the tailgating there was amazing from that aspect in that area. Now, there's the people there in person; they were amazing. On Twitter, there's some people. I'm not a big fan of Buffalo Twitter, to be honest.
Well, me neither. I don't like not one of them.
Yeah, we never fans of Buffalo Twitter, man.
Not one of them fools. I don't like not one of them. They be for a lot of the time they be in Miami. That's what I'm gonna say. I ain't saying nothing else, man.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a history there, so we'll just leave it at that.
They never be in my neck of the woods, man. But yeah, man, we gonna have to get you right, man. I appreciate you for your time, man. Like, man, it's gonna be a great season, man. A lot of us, like I said, man, if you didn't hate Jordan Poyer, any Dolphin fan that tells you they love Jordan Poyer, they're lying to you. We all hated that cat because he's a great, hell of a player, man. So we gotta have him on our side.
I love that he's on the team now.
I love that, man. It's about damn.
Yeah, I love it. It's great.
Hey, listen.
Hey, you got some Haitian food yet? Have you got some Haitian food yet, Jeremiah? Have you got a chance?
Not yet.
Oh, man.
Oh, man, we gonna get you on that Haitian food.
We gonna get you right, my boy.
I'm gonna tell you this. From a Cuban guy, I can tell you from a Cuban guy that obviously am a food connoisseur, you're missing out.
Only out here though, right?
Oh, bro, listen.
Yeah, you can get some all world Haitian food, man. Some good stuff down there. There's a place down in Miramar, Chez Cachu. They make like breakfast patties and like different kinds of meats and stuff. And you'll really enjoy it. Yeah.
There's a couple places right by the stadium.
Yes, right. Yeah, for sure.
It's not too far. Yeah.
That's not fire.
You're gonna have to hit the gym because there's a lot of food out here. It's gonna be wild for you. I don't know how Jordan been living here, staying in shape. That is dedication because it's hard. The food here is amazing, bro.
Jordan could eat 10 pounds and he'll lose weight the next day. That's the way his metabolism works. He can eat 10 pounds of food and just lose. He'll be right back to normal the next day. It's crazy. I wish I had that. I don't know how I didn't get that.
Hey, so that happens, man. I mean, what can you do?
Hey, but you're the little brother, man. Little brothers run everything. That's what I'm talking about.
I always got me. I'm the security guard, really. People be asking Jordan why he got a security guard walking around with him.
Hey,
security detail.
Listen, I'm the baby brother. That's why they call us the little big brothers.
Yeah,
Man, that's what they do call us. That's right, little big brothers, man.
Hell yeah.
All right, man. Listen, I want to thank you for your time, bro. You're welcome on the show whenever you want. We'll be in touch. I'm sure you're going to be well integrated in the fan base in the months to come.
Welcome, man.
I appreciate y'all having me on.
Yeah,
it's nice to meet all you.
Joining.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we'll do something, man. We'll maybe during a tailgate or something.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, we're gonna get you right with some food, man. We gonna earn some pounds, man.
Thanks again, man. Appreciate you. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Hey, listen. Hey, whenever he gets set up, we gonna have Deborah send him some food over to the spot, man, and we gonna get him right.
I mean,
hey,
which spot you talking about? Because you got plenty of spots. You know, you be moving different. You know, you
be moving too different.
When you in that pocket, you know what I mean? You be in different. You know what I mean?
Allegedly.
They call you French the Jasper. You be everywhere. You be traveling, boy. You be everywhere, boy. I tell you.
And you forgot the mister. You forgot the mister.
Shout out to the Poyers, man. Shout out to the ayahuasca.
You got it.
Ayahuasca. That's a crazy word.
That's a mouthful.
You were gonna say that? I'm glad I didn't, and you did. That was crazy, Paul. Crazy. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was a pause moment.
Nah, man, but hey, man, but it's
no diddy.
Hey,
sometimes you get players to the team and they like they it seems like, man, this guy should have been a Dolphin a long time ago, because even to the family it feels like this guy was a Dolphin. So
yeah.
But a lot of what he said kind of. Go ahead, Wally. I apologize.
No, I know you got it.
Go ahead, go ahead, friend.
I was just gonna say a lot of what he said, man, just kind of validated what we've been saying all the time about mentality and being able and having to push through, because it was a mentality with Buffalo being on that drought, and he had to get guys in there to push through that point. So with us pushing through, getting that first playoff win, and not just being satisfied with a win, running it up to the Super Bowl and winning it, you got to have guys that could be mentally tough to get through to that next level, because you think just winning a playoff game gonna make you happy. You're gonna get that playoff win and be chomping for some more. That exhilaration after not getting that for 20 years, man, you're gonna be feeling for some more of that. So you got to have guys that are willing to really have that strong mentality to break through, because they're not.
Yeah, the mentality change to me was like, that was that golden nugget. Like with that mentality change for us defensively, I think there was a bunch of guys that were here for the last 5 to 6 years that had that seed of doubt planted in their mind that they couldn't get over the hump. So I think just moving forward with new guys and bringing in some of that new mentality, that dog mentality we've been looking for, like, I think that's going to be huge for us overall as a team.
I agree. And I like the fact that he mentioned about bringing in guys that are hungry, you know, dogs that haven't really gotten that bag yet, that are looking to prove themselves. And I feel like that's what we brought. And I think that's what the Ravens did last year. They brought no-name guys that were hungry, that were willing to work. You know what I'm saying? Development. You know, so I kind of like what he was. I like what he was saying there. And I think that's what we did for sure.
What I really like when he said is that Jordan won't allow that. And when we're talking about those plays that we saw, broken plays that you saw, Katie Cole talking to Sean Elliott, talking to this guy because the communication was off. A guy like Jordan Poyer, now he's a second quarterback on that field, so he's gonna help you out. He's gonna help the young guys translate to the field and be on their keys. So that's very important. And the guy, look, man, Jordan got it from the bottom. He wasn't like Heidi Todd. He started as a journeyman and found his niche, and he's been the best defensive player, if you may. Some people might say he's washed. Some people, whatever they want to say, whatever adjective you want to add to. I still like. I think he's going to be a great player for us. And if you're telling me we went from terrible to Sean Elliott to Jordan Poyer, I think we're up. That's my perspective. It's going. We up from here.
And the one thing I'll just end with on that point is the one thing he said about the fans. These players be on Twitter. These players, after they done got their ass kicked or they done kicked some ass, they go online just like you and me for that affirmation and validation, or they go online just a little bit just to zone out of the situation. And if we on the timeline spazzing now, oh trade, like how you expect your team to be better when you can't be better? So we got to be better as fans as far as what we put out there, because these players are reading that and consuming that. And if everybody is telling you you're a piece of crap, let me see you go to work tomorrow and perform 100%. People get upset on Twitter when people don't like their posts.
Imagine the players.
Imagine
man.
100 people telling you you suck at work. You can't.
Hey, but you know what's funny though? You know what's funny? Homie said, "Hey man, I don't like Buffalo Twitter." We wasn't wrong. We wasn't lying. You see, you guys are weird over there, Buffalo. You know what I'm saying?
He's gonna fit just perfectly.
Man.
You know, all that table jumping and diving done affected the brain cells.
Nah, I think Jordan. It's like Chad said. Jordan should have been here 2 years ago. I think over the Sean Elliott.
Yeah, I should have asked him what happened there, but
That's it. But he did mention that he didn't like the way the contract situation was out there. So maybe that you could take a nugget off of that, because that's what he said. He didn't like the way they dealt with him the past couple of years. And look, they were talking about how Jordan missed games. He's missed 6 games in 7 years, and he's a hard hitting safety. Micah Hyde wasn't free.
Yeah,
He's played through a lot of things and put his body on the line for the team a lot, bro. Like he's a guy that's gonna play through it.
He's a
more often than not,
guy, bro. He's a pesky bro. Like, listen, man. It's like I said, you hate him if he's not on your team, and you love him if he's on your team.
That's facts. So listen, hey, pivoting away from that real quickly, have you guys taken a look at the new rule changes?
By the way, hold on. Before any of that, Brian Thomas, wide receiver at 21, no matter what. Carry on.
Wait. Can you say it again, please?
At 21, Brian Thomas, wide receiver, no matter what.
Listen, can I make a statement on that?
Bro, here we go.
You have the floor, sir.
So I'm gonna be here to say.
Here we go. And the turncoat. It had to be the turncoat.
It's not.
I see it in your. I see it. You might be a turncoat.
Listen. No, I'm not being a turncoat. Listen. Let's not say he's the definite 21 BPA regardless.
Dog,
but if he's there,
21, and we doing wide
receiver
at 21, cuz.
If he's there or a wide receiver that is highly ranked is there, I would not be surprised. None of us would be, and y'all shouldn't be either, because we need a third option for a lot of different reasons. A lot of different.
What I will say is, Finn's Twitter and the people who are opposed to the drafting of a wide receiver at 21, you better hope that we're even lucky enough to be graced with the presence of a Brian Thomas Jr. on the board at 21, because there's no reason why he should be available to us whatsoever. So anyone poo-pooing the idea as if it's some type of a reach or something done out of necessity, there aren't 15 players in this draft better. So do with that what you will.
That's all I'm saying, man.
Nobody drafts interior linemen in the first round. It's rare. It's rare. Nobody does it. None of the good teams do it. All the teams you compare yourself to that do all the things that you wish that you could be doing, they never draft interior linemen in the first round. Even the Chiefs, rare. It's rare. Creed Humphrey, second round pick, my boys. Second round pick. Best center in the league.
Yep.
And to go back to the question about the rule change, I like the hip tackle being taken out, because I feel like the Titans game illustrated what the damage of that tackle could do. And a lot of you people are talking about, oh, they're not tackling. Wrap up, tackle like a man. Don't dive on the floor and bring somebody with you. It's basically like another version of the horse collar tackle. I'm not with that. I'm glad it's out of there. Also, with this new kickoff return, our speed becomes a threat. If you give a slight edge to a world class sprinter like Achan out there,
What I'm most excited about are the the abilities to like over review like the delay of games, the quarterback hits that may be a little bit questionable and things like that. I thought that was pretty dope. They also implemented a new rule in which you have unlimited amount of returns from IR if you're while in the playoffs. So like, remember how last year we were kind of trying to decide between which guys to bring back? Like once we were in the playoffs, we could just bring them all back. I think that was pretty dope. That was pretty dope. As well as the now you can put 2 players from the 90 onto IR, not just the pup. You can put them onto IR and bring them back.
I saw that
throughout the course season from the 90s. So I thought that was pretty dope too. So a couple cool concepts outside of the kickoff, and that's one everyone's talking about in the hip drop. But there's some good stuff they got in there.
The kickoff is going to be a very important phase of this offense. I mean, of this team, because now you're putting a threat to possibly a touchdown, and also look at the moves we made based on this. According to an article, Greer was part of the agreement to change the playoff, the whole kickoff situation. So there's a reason why we got Anthony Walker, who's a good special teamer. Tyron Neal, did I say his name right? He's a good special teamer. It's like we're playing chess out here. You know what I'm saying? And bringing a third option receiver allows guys like Waddle, Tyreek, and even Achane to now be considered to put them out there to get that explosive play, a great field position, if not a touchdown, in situations where we need to win the game and we need some spark. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited I like the rule changes, and I can't wait to see how we take advantage of it. It seems like we are. We're going.
I know a lot of people are down on Berrios, but I actually think he could benefit from the rule change as well. Like I think he's still a prominent returner, as well as Anthony Schwartz, that I think can, if he makes a team, he's a guy with that speed. He has a great return ability as well. And if you want to make a big play, I know a lot of people aren't in favor of it, but Achane, Waddle, and Tyreek can give you a return if you need one. You don't got to use them as the full-time guys back there, but if you need a big-time play like we talked about, I think now with the rule changes and those guys being lined up closer together, it involves less risk on those type of plays, in my opinion, because guys aren't coming down with those full-speed, high-speed collisions, trying to make a difference, trying to make a play, and using a Tyreek or someone to try to, make that happen. Because some of these guys on special teams, they ain't got nothing to lose. They coming down, they trying to kill something.
Yeah, so, listen, wait, hold on, French. As far as like the punt return is concerned, what happened?
That was crazy.
That was your dog.
No, that was no.
What's your dog? Wait. What's your dog doing over there, bro?
She wants to be part of the show. She likes the guru taste.
But yeah, as far as a punt return is concerned, as long as the guy doesn't turn the ball over, bro. Like, of course, you want the guy to give you a couple yards or, have some sort of speed and give you better field position. But my biggest concern is, like, remember what we had before, So as long as that guy's sure-handed, and I think Berrios is, I'm okay with that. Would I like something better? Of course, but I'm not going to be upset if they don't get a freaking punt returner.
Bro, when you say Cedric Wilson was a better returner than Braxton Berrios, and I'll rest my case.
That's fine.
Not necessarily true.
Yeah, but he's saying it because of one play.
But we don't know what's being asked of Braxton Berrios as a returner. Are they prioritizing possession over the potential return? Are they asking him not to take those risks? Like, I don't know what's being, because I think you get what you emphasize. If they were emphasized making plays on special teams, I think you would see more of that. And I think going forward, I think that's why you're seeing the change and the investments they're making in that area to try to shore up that third. You know what I'm saying? Like element to the team.
It looks like the check it out. It looks like the movement is making some headway here.
Hey, listen.
Look, bro, I'm just saying. Maybe you could be right. Maybe they told Braxton, look, Braxton, you're our third option, so don't get hurt. And they told Cedric, look, bro, just go out there and feel the punt. You feel me? Because maybe to the offense, Braxton was more important, if you may. So you might have a chance, you might have a point there. So let's just go get that Brian Thomas at 21, and then Braxton Burris can go crazy returning. You feel me? You see the fans? You see the fans? Man. You see it?
There's just too many. I mean, listen, I am with. I would not be upset if they take a wide receiver at 21. I'm not. I mean, there's too many positives, and good reasons to do that over an offensive lineman that you can fill later on in the draft.
But coach, it's not. Yeah, exactly. It's not the end of the world if you get a
Right.
receiver or a defensive end
Exactly.
or whatever.
Or defensive
guy.
end. Yeah.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? It's not the end of the road. There's a lot of great players who can play and start on this team in the second, the third, fourth, fifth, possibly even sixth if you know how to evaluate talent. It's not the end of the world when people say you got to take an offensive lineman in the first 2 rounds. Nah, you don't really have to. I do agree. There's great talent there, but if you have a stable organization and a guy that can see talent and knows what fits here, he can get a guy in the 5th round and make him an elite all pro. He can get a guy undrafted and make him a quality starter. So
This draft has a lot of value if you can find
That's
it.
where I was going.
That's like you. Brian Thomas is one of the few players. Troy, there's a couple players that you could be like, all right, these guys are just elite talent wise, and they won. Like, you know how people tell our offense is really hard to learn, but Brian Thomas doesn't have to learn nothing in the offense. Just play based on his God-given athletic ability. But when you get to the latter rounds, dog, you can find a BB and a Bart and a JPJ in the same realm, and you can have all of them. But if you don't have the proper coaching, you're not gonna get them anywhere. So you got to be a good value picker. This draft, defensive tackle. Look, if you get a guy like Robinson in the 2nd round, a guy like Sweat in the 2nd round, you're getting value. Defensive tackles and inside linemen are not supposed to be highly drafted because you're not getting their value. These are value picks. People don't understand that our needs are value picks. You got to find your next Robert Hunt, and you find your next Robert Hunt in the middle rounds. You do not find Robert Hunt in the 1st round.
You'll be lucky if there's 2 interior linemen drafted in this draft. On the high end of the wide receivers, there's 3 that could go in the top 10. Like it's just different. Like you'll still have, 8 of the 10 best interior offensive linemen available to you on day 2. For wide receiver, by the time you get to pick 55, after Buffalo and Kansas City and all these other teams at the end of the pick, and then you got the Carolinas and all these other teams that are going to come back around, like all those receivers are going to start coming off the board. You're not going to be able to just sit back and just wait on it. I know a lot of people are like, let's just get a Leggett, let's just get this, let's get that. And I'm with it. But you don't know if they're going to be there. And then you could sit there in a position in which you're forced to choose a guy who may not be of that ilk. You know what I mean? And then what you're stuck with, a bit of a reach, and then it's not the same. I know we've been harping on the wide receiver thing, but I just want people to be open to whatever possibilities, because it seems like everyone's so locked in on either getting the tackle of the future for Teron Armstead or shoring up the line, which aren't bad ideas, but you don't have to do it at 21. You don't.
All right. So hold on. Just for shits and giggles.
What's your profanity?
Oh, I'm sorry. Just go through this exercise real quick. So at 21, who do you have? Because you guys know, obviously have done a lot more research
I'm a guru.
than me.
I'm a guru.
That's fine. That you can call yourself the guru. That's fine.
No, I'm not calling myself the guru. I was named the guru as well. We have proof of it.
So tired of you.
So listen. Right. So let's say at 21, you have the option of drafting. You have them there, in front of you. You have Brian Thomas. You have Latu, the defensive end. You have Cooper DeJean. Okay. You have help me out. Give me 2 other names. Fautanu.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And give me another one. Give me one more. I'll just give you to make it 5.
Let's go with Newton, so you can have a defensive tackle.
Jerry
Jordan
Newton, which
Newton.
is a guy. That's a guy I like. So those names are there available to you. Let's go around the room and explain to me why you pick that guy. I'll go with Chad.
I think as much as I would love to go with a wide receiver, I think Troy Fautanu is amongst the best players in this draft as well. So in that case, I think it makes a lot of sense to go O-line. But he might be more highly touted than a Brian Thomas Jr. is. With that being said, I think it's even less likely that he's available at 21, especially with the lack of quality offensive linemen league-wide and coming out of college in general. If you can get a player of his ilk who can legitimately play left tackle and kick inside, I think a lot of teams are going to be chomping at the bit to get a guy like that in the building with that versatility the same way we are. So I think he's going to be highly, highly touted.
Well, that's my point. Like, just play along, go with the exercise. These guys are available, regardless of we kind of know that he's going to go high. Let's just say, Fautanu, boom, Wally, give me yours.
I mean, that is the pick. Faunu's probably to me he's better than Joe Alt. He's the best tackle. He's the best tackle. He's the best guard in this draft. To me, he is the only guy that I would take over Brian Thomas in this scenario because of the pedigree and the potential he has, the ceiling for this kid. A lot of you guys love Latu. Latu's not stopping me. If it's him and Brian Thomas, I'm taking Brian Thomas and I'm drafting Austin Booker in the second round. Like I want you, Latu, Jared Verse. You're not making me stop. You're not stopping me from drafting Brian Thomas. Brian Thomas is a top 10 talent. Latu is a potential to be a poor man's Jalen Phillips. So if I'm doing that, I'm going to get the guy that's a sure thing right now that starts at left guard, a right guard, and then left tackle. And if you want to get nasty, you play right tackle if you want to.
So you have the same scenario, right? Let's play it devil's advocate. The same scenario with, let's say, Bradley Chubb and the Tyreek Hill situation where you have guys that have a big salary, and eventually you know that they're going to end up moving on, whether it be because of age or because of their salary, and a younger guy will come in. I mean, not Tyreek Hill, Teron Armstead. So I see the vision, I see the mindset here. Junior, what do you think?
It has to be Troy, in my opinion. And it goes back to what Chad was saying, and I'll add on to a reference from the 3 yards per carry guys. CK mentioned how NFL is looking at offensive linemen and how they're not coming in prepared and not coming in to play right away. So you have a rarity of offensive linemen like those day 1, day 2 guys that can start right away. And you can't find a whole lot of guys down the line. Although we are identified some that can play, it's 31 other teams that can probably get them, and with the picks that we have, you can't. So it's going to be hard to kind of acquire those guys. So Troy not only gives you versatility on that left side, he's athletic. He can start right now. And if Keon Smith is not the guy that eventually replaces Armstead, you have Troy right there ready to go. And he got experience as a guard going to the left tackle. So Troy's my guy.
All right, French, you got a. I didn't name a fullback in the.
He might. Hey, you know what? Throw a fullback in there just to make him come.
I mean, if you're only boxing me into those guys, I was gonna go somewhere else around the ballparks of like.
What other else is?
What are you looking to do, French? You looking to address a tight end position, or what does he want to do?
I was saying like we're talking about Fautanu being there, but what if Mims is there?
No.
But is
I'm sorry. That's you know what? I apologize. That's your pick. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go.
Mims is actually a good player. My only thing with that being is like I don't think he has the versatility to necessarily kick inside. Like I know everyone has this thing where we get a tackle and we kick it into guard and a la Laramie Tunsil, which worked out great, by the way. But people have to remember that guy was an all-world talent that was arguably the best player in the draft that just so happened to fall to us, and he was a special player. He is the best amongst the best left tackles in the NFL. Like, he's a special player. You can't do that with everyone. You can't do that with everyone. Right.
Right. So whether it's a Fontenot, Mims, or even a Brian
Why is
Murphy.
Mims in this conversation?
No,
He might be.
No. I'm just okay, but which is why I asked you: are we talking about just the specific tackles that you all gave? Because I like
Troy's better than Mims.
Okay.
Well, French,
I
real
do too, but
quick.
like I said,
I want to
we're
give
also
you
talking about
real quick, French. It's because those guys are highly ranked and highly touted. Mims is talented in his rank too, but there's some issues with him that probably might cause him to drop in the later rounds, probably late first, early second, possibly, maybe actually around our pick. So it's a likelihood we could get him too.
So is homie from Penn State.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I've heard that, but I don't buy that as much.
He's gonna get drafted.
Olu.
Yeah, Olu. Yeah, I don't buy that he'll be there at 21. I've heard that a lot, but I don't buy that.
What if Brian is there to tackle from Texas?
No.
Are you from Oklahoma? Guyton.
No.
You talking about Guyton? I mean,
Guyton is good too.
I like Guyton. I like Guyton personally.
I like Guyton.
He talking about the Texas kid. He talking about defensive tackle. I'm not doing that.
You talking about Murphy?
Murphy.
No, Murphy. Yeah, Murphy. I mean, I like Murphy, bro. I like Murphy personally. I do like him. I just don't know if a rotational defensive lineman is the best necessarily pick, unless he can align across the line from 5 to 1. If he can play 1 tech, 2 tech, 3 tech, 5, and if he can do that, then I think, a guy like a Darius Robinson maybe might make more sense for us personally, because
I'm done with these Mizzou guys.
I personally don't love the Mizzou guys either, but him and Javon Foster, I think, are two very good players that could be had in this draft from Missouri. And I mean, he killed it when he got up against the better competition and amongst the best at the Senior Bowl and stuff. He put on a show, bro. Those guys balled out. So I have to put my personal biases aside in that case. I don't love Ohio State guys either, but a Michael Hall, if he's there in the second half, like in the second round, like I consider him for sure. Like there's I think sometimes we have to put our biases aside and just understand that these teams and schools evolve, and over time they do have the ability to produce talent at positions that they normally wouldn't. So it's hard to do that though.
If you could get like a guy like a Mims, and I look at where a guy played at too. I look at a guy like Mims who played out of Georgia, and a lot of those Georgia offensive linemen and defensive linemen, they come in with that motor. You'll never what Georgia offensive lineman or defensive lineman comes into the league and you be like, oh, he ain't got no motor.
Time out.
Solomon Kinley.
Time out. I'm
Isaiah Wilson.
Hold on. Listen.
You really gonna do that?
I don't listen. I have an issue with Alabama tackles and Georgia tackles because these guys get to play with the best of the best of the best, and they get shielded. Like in Alabama, you don't get exposed. At Georgia, you don't get exposed. Like people say Troy got to play by himself. Like they got it.
I feel you.
There's no top 5 class coming in with them boys. They get it off the mud. So give me a guy like Troy that had to get it by himself instead of a Mims. I'm good. I'm good on that. I'm good on that. I'm good.
Hey, but let's hold on a second. Let's put a pause on that. Wally, what's the score of the Heat game, man?
I'm not watching the Heat game. I'm watching the Panthers game, boy.
What's going on with that?
It's 3-2, man. It's a crazy game. It's 4-4 right now. It's a crazy, man. This game gangster right now. I ain't watching.
Hey, man, I wanted to go to that game tonight, but it was too late in the day.
Nah, this game is insane right now.
And I knew we had a show. Hey, Deborah, if Deborah's listening to the show, I know you're working. Deborah, can you look at getting me some tickets for the next Panther game?
Here we go.
Just make sure you charge him, Deborah. But
Honey,
You're not gonna and you're
French,
not gonna get reimbursed. You don't use a company credit card, bro.
and I ain't
So
gonna hold you. In this scenario, we could trade back because if homie's there, that means you could trade back and end up with Barton.
I don't think we will trade back at 21. I honestly, I'm every day that goes by, I'm feeling more and more convicted with the fact that we will not trade down. I think it's 1,000 times more likely that either we do it in round 2 or we trade up using next year's capital than to trade down at 21. I don't think we will be in the position to do so.
Because there's too much talent that's gonna be there. That's the thing.
I think there's gonna be some good players there, bro. And I don't know if you want to do that. Like you're in a great spot. I get it. We need the 3rd and 4th round picks. Like if you can get in the middle rounds, I think there's a ton of value there. I understand why everybody wants to do it. It's not a bad idea. I just don't know if the trade will come into fruition as far as needs on someone else's side because of the depth at certain positions. And as well as like, I don't know if you necessarily would be the best thing for us to take ourselves out of a certain pool of players and put yourself intentionally in another's for the sake of trying to cast a wider net. If you have your guys there, 4 or 5 guys that you like, take one, have that conviction and figure it out. That's where I'm at. Like, I get it. I get it. You could trade back and you can get more picks. It sounds great. It looks great on the mock draft. But like, bruh, like I don't know. I don't see it. I'm not seeing it.
And Chad, and I think that with the compensation picks, in addition to the original, I think they're not pressed to try to trade back this draft. You know what I'm saying? I think they're
gonna trade up to get in the middle rounds. I'm just thinking this way. I feel like they're gonna sacrifice Robert Hunt or Christian Wilkins and try to get those picks, comp picks, or they're going to be very high picks to be able to maneuver and get more picks for this year's draft because it makes it easier. You can't go 2 seasons without having a first round draft pick. You know what I mean? We could sell that on Bradley Chubb, Tyreek Hill, but you got to let them get a shot at that. So to me, it is what it is.
But if your guys aren't there and a trade comes your way, I'm with it. I get it, right? But like the likelihood of our guys that we like, based on what we know, there's a good chance that Guyton, Mims, Brian Thomas, a Fontenot, a Cooper DeJean, a Graham Barton, possibly a lot to, you know what I mean? Some of the better cornerbacks could be available. Like there's going to be a litany of players that could be available to you. And like, why eliminate yourself from being in that position to get some great talent and put yourself in a position where only 3, maybe 2 or 3 of those guys could be available, and then now you know what I mean? Like I just don't know if the team will do that. Like I don't know if Grier's gonna push himself back into the corner like that to try to. I feel like he's gonna want to operate with that flexibility at 21.
Yeah, I would love the flexibility of going from like 21 to 25 and picking up like 2 threes.
You're not gonna get 2 threes with that. You're probably gonna get a third or a late third or 4th because I don't think the value of it's not gonna.
And that's what you need.
But hold on.
That's what you need.
It all depends on who starts to fall. It all depends on the first 10 picks of the draft. Because if the first 10 picks of the draft go like it did the year before last, where it started out crazy and it was a run on, I forgot what position, and now there was people at like 16 and 17, and you're at 21, you don't think somebody in one of those 25 to 26, if somebody's available, is like calling like, hey.
They're in my opinion, I think teams will some way lowball an offer, and they won't appear desperate to just give everything away. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they're gonna.
I'll use this analogy, mechanic. When you got to get to the airport in an hour, you don't care what the Lyft ride costs.
Yeah, but And
You
then that's
don't.
where the metric, that's where the draft metric comes in play, because that's where you end up not having to overspend to
No,
trade up.
but
You know what I'm saying?
mechanic.
It's
When we're no
gonna
no no no
it's
no. But you're talking
the value
tangible.
of it.
When we're on the
The
phone like this, talking like Chris Greer, the guy talking right now, and the time is going down on your clock. Do you want to get this guy or not?
Yeah, but they're
You
not
tell
gonna.
me the draft capital all you want. Give me
But
two
Greer's
threes or
not
I'm gonna
gonna. But
hang
Greer's
up.
not gonna. But French, Greer's not gonna say, give me a plethora of picks if you want this guy or not.
Of course. Of
I don't think
course.
he's
It's
gonna do it.
leverage. That's
I don't think
inside
he's gonna do it.
leverage. That's inside leverage.
I don't want. I
Wally,
don't.
what
I
happens
don't.
all the time when we're about to draft and people take the
So
players that we want?
so French,
They know it.
you're saying going to 21 to 25, we're gonna get 2, 3 third round picks.
You just never know who offers you what.
Who has
I wouldn't.
Who has 2 third round picks this draft that you will
Don't
consider
Okay, so
eligible?
let me not say 2 threes. Let me say 2 4s. Something that'll get you hyenas off the scent. All I'm just saying is I would love, because we've seen scenarios in the draft where teams have slid down 2 positions and gotten first round picks the year prior.
Look, I'm gonna tell
Like
you this.
who? Like who?
Like
Bro, I'd
last
have
year.
to pull up the scenario. It happened last year, bro.
Like the Saints and the Eagles did a bunch of trades. Like I get what you're
And the
saying.
Cardinals was involved in one of those trades. Yeah, and that was when everybody was swapping those picks.
But it wasn't as much as you're saying it is.
Oh my goodness. Like I'm saying, I don't care what they said. But then even in that, it's negotiation mechanic. When you need to get somewhere, you gonna pay the price.
Negotiation is where the but I'm saying, but you're not listening to what I'm saying. I get it, it's a negotiation, but teams are not going to set themselves up for failure to just overspend to trade up. That's
Let
where
me
they're
tussle.
measured. That's where the bar at what value is what for a draft pick.
So
That's
then
where
how
you
did
gotta.
Chris how
And,
did so then how
and
did
here's the thing.
so then how
Here's
did
another
Chris
thing, right?
Carter
We're
get the
talking
Aaron
about how the
Rodgers
third and
trade?
fourth round. We're talking about the third and fourth round picks being as valuable as they are, right? And how much talent, the litany of talent that's going to be available there. Why would a team give up multiple assets in those rounds to eliminate the odds of them being able to select that talent that's going to be available in the middle round in order
And
to try and feel a need? I don't think a player of that caliber is going to be available to create the level of desperation in which
Right.
a team is going to
then
give up
so then that's
a
the
third or a
question.
fourth round pick just to move up and get a guy. Like, you have to
So
hope
then
that a
let me
team is desperate enough to do so, and it comes to
Two
fruition and it's
thirds,
agreeable
let
Cat.
me
for you.
let
You
me ask
got
you
It
this
you got
question.
sounds
you
Let me
good.
got
ask you this
It
question,
sound
Tab.
Listen, hold on. It sounds great, and I get the idea. You don't have to sell anyone on the idea of adding more picks in this draft. I think everyone wants to. I'm just saying that you don't know if it's going to even come to fruition, and if you do that, you're only increasing the odds of someone being able to do the exact thing that you said about people getting up and trading up ahead of us. If you trade back 4 or 5 spots, that's 4 or 5 people that can jump ahead of you and grab some guys.
Right.
like
Correct.
look. Listen. Nobody wants to help us. So I'm gonna tell you like this. Man. If just like Chad made a great point. If we're talking about having all this crazy amount of talent in the middle rounds, you better hope that there's a crazy run on quarterbacks. That's the only way we have a shot at this. And whilst you're doing that, you're gonna have to come up to a player like Brian Thomas and be like, hey, you're there at 21, but we're getting offered a couple picks to move back down to 26. And that's where the conundrum comes in. So you're going to give up on Brian Thomas, yes, for what? To pick up another third round pick and pass up on Brian Thomas and be at 26 and pick up whom? That's the conundrum. And honestly, dog, I'd rather trade the second round pick than trade the first round pick. I want to get Brian Thomas out here.
French, I don't mean to poo-poo your scenario, but you gotta look. It's what OG said. It's point based. So from 21 to 25, 25 still has some value. So you can add in a third round, which will compensate up to the 21 point value. That's what I was trying to. That's why I
Yeah, there's
said
a
I don't
formula.
know.
There's a formula for
Yeah,
that.
that's
Yeah.
why I said I don't know if a person's gonna be gonna just give up 2/3 or 2/4. It has to accumulate the value of the point on what you're drafting.
But when you get those, usually it's one this year, one the next year. So excuse me if I was saying the concurrent year.
You got it.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Looks like we got some breaking news. We got some breaking news I gotta share with everybody. We just recently in my inbox I received a message that was directed at Wally. So I'm gonna play it for everybody and just see if we can decipher what's going on here.
Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy. You putting in that work.
Whoa.
Proud of you. I love you.
Hey,
What was that? What was that about? What was that about? Wally, you know anything about this, man?
I don't know.
that was a message to Wally.
That was a message to Wally, yeah.
That's crazy.
Talking about putting in work.
That's crazy. Y'all hate getting Diddy edits and trying to make it sound like.
Wow.
Hey, listen, don't kill the messenger. I'm just passing it along, bro.
Pause. Be pause. Be your
Yo.
pause. That was crazy.
Hey, I'm taking over now.
Bro. Hey, wrap it up. Wrap it up. We out, baby. We out.
On that note.
Yo, that's it. We out, B. On that note, Fizz for the win.
But to wrap it up, man. Listen, if you could trade down and get more picks and still get your guy.
Chad, hold on, Chad, hold on a second. Why are you screaming?
Because he doesn't have the headphones.
He has to go.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm all for adding more capital if possible. I'm not trying to poo-poo on the idea. I just don't know if it's going to come to fruition, and I don't want people to get their hopes up and become set in the fact that we need to trade down in order to acquire those picks. I think there's a multitude of ways they could come about acquiring more middle round capital.
All I'm gonna say is if we do trade down in the draft and something like this scenario happen, hey man, just as loud as the critics is.
Is he gonna? Here comes the famous line.
Sit down.
Here comes the famous line. Go ahead. Here goes.
But French.
With Sealer.
We got the Oakland boys. You got the Oakland boys over here.
French. That is a broad statement.
The Las Vegas.
He's casting a white man.
French, yes, French. You're casting a white net because you can still acquire those type of picks because a team that has no first rounds in the second round, they can give up their entire third, fourth round, which is a whole bunch of picks to come up to the first round. You can do that, but it has to equal the points. That's what I'm trying to say. So you can get you can get all your draft picks that you're talking about, but it's not going to be 21 to 25, two third or 2/4. It got to equate to the 21. If I'm making sense. That's all I'm trying to tell you.
All right, bro. We can educate French some other time, bro. We got things.
I don't need no education. I know how negotiations work. I know how to extort people.
Nigga, you need to know the point system.
Listen, I know how to have inside leverage. And you can keep your point system all you want, but Deborah, wait till I speak to Deborah.
And on that note,
want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Appreciate the support. Make sure you follow, subscribe, turn those notifications on. We ain't done. We'll be on the Playback tomorrow. Make sure you download the Playback app. A lot of good stuff coming up. We're getting closer and closer to the draft. The NFL season's around the corner. OTAs, training camp. Let's get it, baby.
Shout out to Jeremiah for pulling up on us, man.
Deborah.
All of Wally's fans, please message Wally.
Hey, man. Know it's not doing at the Diddy parties, my boy.
Shout out to the fans, man.
All the ditties.
Nah, I ain't gonna say that's the mother boys that be on the other side, the mother spaces that be on the other side.